So it's been reported on the Sports Mole website, that's correct, Sports Mole, that Carl Froch is considering coming out of retirement to fight Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Eddie Hearn is quoted in the article as saying that Carl Froch gave him a call following on from Golovkin's fight with Lemieux, and he is still intrigued in fighting Gennady Golovkin. The article is dated October the 26th, which I believe is today's date, if I'm not mistaken. So relatively recent news here. My question to you, if you're watching this video, do you believe this, or is this just a desperate attempt to keep Carl Froch's name in the press? I find it something I don't understand about boxers. You know, David Haye, to my mind, the guy is clearly retired. He hasn't fought for years. He's just closed down his gym. He's split up with his trainer. He looks like he's put on a lot of weight. He doesn't look like he's in typical David Haye fighting condition. For me, the guy looks like he's retiring. He keeps threatening a comeback, saying there's going to be big news, and then we don't hear of him for 6 months. So he keeps threatening to retire, and then he keeps threatening to return, and then nothing happens. In my mind, he's retired. Now, I want to know, is it the same thing with Carl Froch? And if that is the case, why do boxers do that? Is it just some sort of attempt to keep their name in the public arena? I don't know. But the one difference between Carl Froch and David Haye, and I would say that an obvious factor is the fact that Carl Froch has been retired for less long than David Haye. But one obvious factor is that Carl Froch still appears to be in very, very good condition. I know he's been retired for quite a short period of time, but it must have been nearly 18 months now that he fought George Groves. So Froch has been out of the ring, he's been inactive for the best part of 18 months, and he still looks in excellent physical condition. You know, I guess he's walking around at not too far over the super middleweight limit. He's obviously keeping himself fit, he's obviously keeping himself in trim, and that when a fighter's like that, when a guy is still walking around, you know, ready to rumble in shape, it does make you wonder whether the return is more likely, because often with these returns to the ring, one of the big factors is if a guy's, you know, lost his discipline, blown up in weight, started drinking, started going out, started boozing, you know, and Carl Froch is clearly not doing that. He's still living the life. I mean, part of me does buy into the hype that Carl Froch is such a warrior, and Carl Froch is something of like a loose cannon and a head case, that he's seeing how well Golovkin is doing of late, and he, you know, just fancies it because there is that element of the element of insanity about it. You know, Eddie Hearn certainly wants us to believe that because he likes this kind of image of Carl Froch being like the ultimate warrior and, you know, the ultimate hero. And I'm keen not just to buy into Eddie Hearn's you know, words here, but the truth of the matter is that Carl Froch did retire at the height of his powers. He retired at the height of his earning potential, and he retired coming off some pretty good form. You know, it's not like a lot of fighters who retire after they've taken a loss, or they retire at a point where their skills seem to be fading. You know, I know Froch is getting old, and I know he's earned a lot of money, but he spent a large amount of time in his career being underpaid and being underappreciated. And, you know, he retired at a point where he could make more money from a single fight than he would have made from, you know, half a dozen fights as recently as 3 or 4 years ago, you know. So part of me thinks for commercial reasons he shouldn't retire now. And, you know, maybe there is that element that makes him look at Triple G and makes him think that, you know, he's a lot bigger than Triple G and he could still have some of that. I don't know. But the news is out there that Froch is still considering the return from retirement to fight Triple G. Yeah, if that did happen, it would be, you know, one of the biggest boxing stories for many a year. You would presume it would be summer 2016 at Wembley Stadium. So there might even be time for Froch to have like a comeback fight in between and, you know, knock out Paul Smith or knock out Martin Murray or something like that, you know. So I'm interested. You know, obviously it's an interesting story. My gut instinct is it's nonsense and it won't happen. But obviously when you're dealing with something of this magnitude and, you know, a fight that would be so big and so relevant, not only for British boxing but also for world boxing, then it's something that I'm keen to discuss and something that I'm keen to hear people's thoughts on. Check out the article on Sports Mole. Check out Eddie Hearn's comments and let me know your thoughts. Do you see this as realistic? Could it happen? And of course the other big question, if it does happen, Who are you rolling with? You know, some time ago I've said that Carl Froch would beat Gennady Golovkin. But that was when Carl Froch was a younger, more active man. You know, I might have to consider it. Golovkin stepped up in form. He's put in a career best performance last time out. Whereas Carl Froch has been working as a TV pundit. You know, has the momentum changed? How do you see it? Let me know your thoughts. Many thanks for watching.